It was a highly controversial move because, of course, until now, America and other countries have believed that Jerusalem is such a sensitive issue, it should only be discussed. Its status, its final status, should only be settled as part of negotiations between Israelis and Palestinians. America's critics say that Donald Trump and his administration have now prejudged the outcome of those negotiations. So to discuss all that, I'm joined by human rights lawyer Sausan Zaher, who works for Adalah, the Palestinian legal rights charity, and by Professor Eugene Kontorovich, who's an expert in international law for the Kohelet Policy Forum. Both of you, thanks very much for joining us tonight. First of all, Eugene, I'll ask you both, but what does it mean for you that this embassy has been moved to Jerusalem and America has recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital?
It's an important recognition of what everyone knows is real, and it's the end of a diplomacy and a foreign policy that was based on fear and lies. Everyone knows this is the capital of Israel. It's a reality. We see it all around us. The reason countries haven't recognized Israel as Jerusalem's capital, something which predates the Palestinian issue, is because they were afraid of violence, they were afraid of blowback from Arab states. Now, Donald Trump said, we have to look at facts to begin foreign policy, and I think a reality-based foreign policy is great. 70 years of ignoring reality has brought us no closer to peace.
Eugene, thank you. First of all, Sausan, let's ask you, how did you feel when you saw those pictures of the embassy opening in Jerusalem and Donald Trump saying those words that Israel's capital is now in the city?
Well, as a human rights lawyer, I think that beyond the unlawful act of this move and beyond the fact that this move basically empties all the major substantive components of any kinds of negotiation for the future with the Palestinians, it has a severe human rights effect on the negative side, because what we have seen in the past 1.5 years, and even before Donald Trump made his decision when he took office, we saw that Netanyahu, on the other hand, started, and the state of Israel started with different laws, like the validation laws of taking private lands from Palestinians in the West Bank, a new law that enables the revocation of residency of residents in East Jerusalem, which would enable their expulsion from East Jerusalem, more and more house demolitions, more and more laws and bills that would enable the annexation of settlements in East Jerusalem and West Bank and put them under the jurisdiction of Jerusalem. So all of these developments from a human rights perspective basically are leading to emptying any kind of negotiation or solution that would, and of course undermining the rights of Palestinians.
So Eugene, given that context, is it not pulling the rug from under the Palestinians? Can they have any hope now of having a capital in Jerusalem?
The issue has nothing to do with the Palestinians. Israel's been around for 70 years. It only took control of eastern Jerusalem in 1967 in the Six-Day War. That's what began the Palestinian issue as we know it today. But the non-recognition of Jerusalem dates from the very creation of Israel, before there were any even concept of negotiations.
Can the Palestinians have a capital in some part of Jerusalem, in your mind?
If negotiations lead to that result, there's nothing to stop Israel from turning those neighborhoods over, even if they're currently recognized as Israeli territory. Indeed, most peace plans contemplate that Israel would give currently sovereign, undisputedly sovereign Israeli territory to a future Palestinian state. But that deal has to be made. So far, the Palestinians have said no to 3 deals that would do exactly that.
Just before we get your response to that, do you admit that the optics were terrible on Monday, though, and that the timing of this move, at a time when Hamas or whoever was organising this process in Gaza could deliver what we saw in Gaza, that carnage, it was a PR disaster for Israel and America, wasn't it?
I think the timing was perfect. It was Israel's 70th anniversary. Hamas did try to ratchet up the violence to create these split screens that you've been seeing. But no matter what day you would have done this, they would have done the same.
So your response to what Eugene was saying, at some point, Palestinians can have a capital here if the negotiations go well.
It's not about what the Palestinians want. It's also how the internationals are also looking at this move and at these developments. We have the General Assembly resolution from December 2017, which basically said any kind of action that would alter the status of Jerusalem and harm the demographic composition is basically null and valid. We have different and several Security Council resolution by the UN that basically said there should be no annexation. none of the countries, except for the US, had accepted any kind of annexation and accepted the fact that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. And of course, Palestinians will never accept that, because from a Palestinian's view, because they have the right to self-determination. From our perspective, from Palestinians' perspective, Jerusalem is the capital of Palestine.
You claim to be an expert in international law. This flies in the face of international law, apparently.
There's absolutely nothing in international law that prevents any country from recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Questions of recognition are political questions up to governments. General Assembly resolutions are not binding international law. The relevant Security Council resolutions are not binding. And even in the 80s, Costa Rica had an embassy here. Other countries had an embassy here. No one said they were breaking...
I think, and Paraguay are moving. They're the only other countries joining in on this.
The Czech Republic is also moving, and several others are coming. But even in the 80s and 70s, numerous countries had embassies here. Nobody said they were breaking international law.
I think what has been said right now is very political, is very personal, and we know why the political views are like that. But let us not forget the court decision or the expert opinion of the International Court of Justice from 2004, which no one has any doubt about its authority, said very clearly and explicitly that East Jerusalem is occupied and Israel should be abided by international humanitarian law and by human rights law. The fact is that this decision is valid until today, and the fact is that there is a practice among all countries on the international level, including all the Security Council decisions, that East Jerusalem is occupied, basically contradicts everything what Mr. Eugene said. And basically this is not true and contradicts the legal facts and the political facts.
We're going to have to leave it there. We've run out of time. But thank you very much for your time tonight and those insights.